Ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak to you today about something that could change the way you walk through this world. You see, we live in an age where everything is on display. Our thoughts, our emotions, even our deepest struggles. Social media, conversations with the wrong people, and misplaced trust have led many to expose what should have remained hidden. But today I want to tell you something that may surprise you. A woman's greatest power is not just in what she reveals, but in what she chooses to conceal. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Not out of shame, but out of strength. Because let me tell you, there are 5 things a woman should never reveal to anyone, no matter how much she loves them, no matter how close they seem. These 5 things can make the difference between walking in wisdom or walking in regret. So listen carefully, because what I'm about to share may just protect your destiny. Throughout history, the most influential women have understood the power of mystery. A woman does not need to reveal everything to be known. She does not need to explain everything to be understood. There is a strength in discretion, a power in silence. The world tells you to be an open book, but I'm here to tell you, guard the pages of your life. Not everyone deserves to read your story. Have you ever shared a dream with someone only to have them laugh at it? Have you ever spoken about a vision God placed in your heart only to have others discourage you? Some dreams are meant to be nurtured in secret until they are strong enough to stand in the light. Joseph in the Bible shared his dream too soon, and it nearly cost him his life. A wise woman learns to guard her dreams until the right time. Pain is a personal thing. It shapes us. It teaches us. But not everyone should have access to the deepest wounds of our soul. There are battles that are meant to be fought between you and God alone. When you expose your pain to the wrong people, it can be used against you. But when you bring it before God, it can be transformed into power. The enemy does not need to attack you where you are strong. He only needs to find where you are weak. And if you reveal your weaknesses to the wrong people, you give them the very weapon they need to hurt you. Instead of broadcasting your struggles to the world, bring them to God. Let Him be your strength in weakness. Let Him be the one who fights for you. Not everyone deserves to see the fullness of your kindness. There are people who will take advantage of it, who will manipulate it for their own gain. Jesus himself said to be as wise as serpents, but as harmless as doves. A wise woman knows when to give and when to hold back. She loves deeply, but she does not let herself be used. My dear sisters, silence is not weakness. Silence is wisdom. Not everything needs to be spoken. Not every feeling needs to be shared. Not every struggle needs an audience. A woman who knows when to speak and when to remain silent is a woman who walks in power. She is unshakable. She is unstoppable. She is guided by wisdom, not by impulse. So I leave you with this. Guard your heart. Guard your dreams. Guard your wisdom. And above all, let God be the one who knows you fully, because He is the only one who will never misuse what He sees in you. God bless you. There is a certain strength in what remains unseen, a power in what is kept sacred. A woman's mystery is not deception, it is wisdom. The world today demands openness, asks for transparency, and pressures people to lay bare their souls before an audience that may not even care. But there is something valuable, something irreplaceable about a woman who knows how to carry herself with an air of discretion. She understands that not everyone deserves access to her innermost thoughts, emotions, and plans. She knows that mystery is not about hiding in fear, but about walking in wisdom. A woman who guards her words, who measures what she shares, and with whom she shares it, carries a strength that cannot be easily shaken. There is a dignity in being reserved, in not feeling the need to explain every action or justify every decision. She does not seek validation from the world because she understands that true worth does not come from external approval, but from within. When a woman embraces the power of mystery, she creates an aura of respect around her. People lean in to listen when she speaks because they know she does not waste words. She understands that what is rare is valued, and what is always available loses its worth. We see this principle in nature. The most precious pearls are hidden within the depths of the ocean, protected by a shell that does not open easily. The most valuable treasures are not displayed on street corners, but are locked away, guarded, and sought after. In the same way, a woman's essence, her thoughts, her emotions, her dreams, should not be freely available to just anyone. There is a beauty in being known, but there is also a danger in being too exposed. A woman who understands this does not allow just anyone to access her vulnerabilities. She discerns who is worthy of hearing her story, of knowing her struggles, of walking closely with her in life. The power of mystery also applies to how a woman carries herself. It is not about secrecy, but about grace. It is in the way she speaks, the way she holds herself, the way she moves through the world with quiet confidence. She does not need to announce her every achievement or defend herself against every criticism. She does not reveal her every intention, nor does she allow the opinions of others to dictate her path. She knows that silence can be more powerful than words, that presence can be more commanding than noise. There is wisdom in reserving parts of oneself for those who have proven themselves worthy. There is strength in allowing people to wonder, to be drawn in by what they do not fully understand. When a woman embraces the power of mystery, she does not become distant, she becomes valuable. She is not unreadable, she is intriguing. And the world, instead of consuming her without thought, learns to appreciate her in ways it never could before. Dreams are fragile things. They begin as whispers in the heart, delicate and uncertain, waiting to be nurtured into reality. Yet too often people share their dreams too soon, revealing them to those who do not understand their value. A woman must learn to guard her dreams, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. The world is not always kind to those with vision. It can mock what it does not understand, belittle what it cannot see, and destroy what has not yet taken root. Many have lost their dreams simply because they shared them with the wrong people. The Bible tells the story of Joseph, a young man who had great dreams of leadership and influence. But when he shared his vision with his brothers, they were not inspired. They were enraged. Their jealousy led them to betray him. And for years, his dreams seemed crushed. Yet God had a plan. Joseph's dream was not dead. It was just in hiding, waiting for the right time. The same is true for many women today. The dreams placed in your heart are not meant to be broadcast to everyone. Some will understand, but many will not. Some will celebrate you, but others may resent you. The enemy often attacks before the dream has a chance to grow. There is a season for everything. And wisdom teaches us that not every dream should be spoken aloud. Some dreams need time to develop in silence. When a woman shares too much too soon, she risks inviting doubt, discouragement, and even sabotage. People project their own fears onto others. They may not believe they can achieve great things, so they convince you that you cannot either. Their words, even if spoken with good intentions, can plant seeds of doubt that take root in your heart. Before you know it, the dream that once burned brightly within you starts to fade under the weight of others' opinions. Guarding your dreams does not mean never speaking of them, but it means knowing who to trust. Surround yourself with those who will nurture your vision, not diminish it. Seek counsel from those who have faith, those who have walked the path of dreams themselves, those who will pray for you rather than discourage you. There are some battles meant to be fought in private. some victories that must first be won in secret before they can be celebrated in public. A woman who understands this principle walks with a quiet confidence. She does not feel the need to explain herself to everyone. She does not waste energy defending her vision to those who were never meant to see it. Instead, she moves forward with faith, allowing her work to speak for itself in due time. True success is not found in loud declarations, but in steady, unwavering pursuit. Dreams do not require validation from the world, they require perseverance. A wise woman guards her dreams, knowing that when the time is right, they will shine on their own. Pain is a deeply personal experience. It shapes us, teaches us, and refines us, but not everyone should have access to the wounds we carry. In a world that encourages oversharing, many women have been led to believe that healing comes through exposing their pain to anyone who will listen. But the truth is, some pain is meant to be dealt with in the quiet place between you and God alone. Not all pain is for public consumption. Some struggles are sacred, meant to be carried with grace rather than displayed for sympathy or validation. A woman must understand that while it is good to have trusted friends, not everyone deserves to hear the depths of her suffering. There are people who will use her pain against her, not to comfort, but to manipulate. There are those who will pretend to care, only to spread whispers behind her back. Even well-meaning individuals may not fully understand the weight of what she carries, offering advice that only deepens the wound rather than healing it. The more voices she allows into her pain, the more confusion she invites into her healing. Sometimes, the best response to suffering is to bring it before God in solitude, rather than presenting it before an audience that cannot truly help. We see this truth reflected in Scripture. When Jesus faced his greatest moment of agony in the Garden of Gethsemane, he brought only a few disciples with him, and even they could not fully comprehend his suffering. He did not cry out for attention or demand that the world see his pain. He turned to the Father. He wrestled with his sorrow in private prayer, pouring out his anguish before the only one who could truly understand. There is a lesson here for every woman. When pain comes, when betrayal stings, when disappointment crushes the spirit, the first response should not be to broadcast it to the world, but to take it to God. Pain is sacred because it has the power to transform. It can make a woman bitter, or it can make her stronger. It can turn her into someone consumed by resentment, or it can refine her into someone full of grace. But the outcome is often determined by how she handles it. When she shares her wounds with the wrong people, she gives them power over her healing. When she allows too many voices into her suffering, she risks losing sight of the lessons hidden within it. True healing does not come from telling the world about the wound. It comes from allowing God to mend it in the secret place. A woman who understands the sacredness of pain does not deny her struggles, but she does not make a spectacle of them either. She moves through life with quiet strength, knowing that her suffering is not a weakness, but a path to deeper wisdom. She learns to sit with her pain in silence, to process it with discernment, and to allow God to use it for something greater than she could have imagined. Weakness is a part of being human, but revealing it to the wrong people can be dangerous. A wise woman understands that not everyone who listens is a friend, and not everyone who seems kind has good intentions. The world does not need to know every struggle, every doubt, or every fear she carries. There are people who will use her weaknesses against her, twisting her vulnerabilities into weapons. Some will pretend to care, only to store up information that can be used at a later time for manipulation. Others, even unintentionally, may spread her struggles to those who have no business knowing them. This is why a woman must guard her weaknesses with discernment. choosing wisely who she confides in and what she shares. Many people believe that sharing struggles openly is a sign of strength, but true strength lies in knowing who to trust. There is a difference between being honest and being unguarded. A woman must never allow herself to be so emotionally exposed that others have the power to control her. The enemy does not attack where we are strongest. He attacks where we are weakest. And often the easiest way for him to do so is through people who have gained access to those weak points. Whether it is insecurity, fear, past mistakes, or private battles, these things should not be spoken of carelessly. They should be entrusted only to those who have proven themselves worthy of such knowledge, or better yet, laid before God in prayer. We see this principle in history and Scripture. Samson was a mighty warrior, but his greatest downfall came because he revealed his weakness to the wrong person. He trusted Delilah with a secret that should have remained hidden, and she used it to destroy him. This is a lesson every woman must learn. The wrong person with the right information can be the greatest threat to your future. Had Samson kept his weakness to himself, he would not have fallen into the enemy's trap. In the same way, a woman who guards her weaknesses protects herself from unnecessary heartache, betrayal, and harm. This does not mean she should carry burdens alone. Everyone needs support. But that support must come from the right sources. A woman should seek counsel from those who are trustworthy, wise, and have her best interests at heart. Even then, there are some struggles that should only be shared with God. No human being can fully understand the depth of another's pain, but God sees it all. He is the only one who will never use it against her, never betray her trust, and never fail her in her time of need. A woman who learns to keep her weaknesses guarded walks with quiet confidence. She is not easily shaken by criticism, nor is she easily manipulated by flattery. She understands that wisdom is not in revealing everything, but in knowing what to conceal. And in that wisdom, she finds protection, peace, and unshakable strength. A woman's kindness is one of her greatest gifts, but it is also one of her most vulnerable traits. The world often tells us that we should be open, that we should always extend a helping hand, and that goodness should be given without restraint. But the reality is, not everyone values kindness. Some people see a good heart as an opportunity to take advantage. They mistake compassion for weakness and generosity for foolishness. A wise woman understands that while she is called to be kind, she is not called to be naive. Not everyone deserves to see the full depth of her goodness. Many women have exhausted themselves trying to prove their kindness to people who never intended to appreciate it. They have poured their energy into relationships, friendships, and even workplaces that only drain them in return. They have given their time, their resources, and their love to those who took freely but never gave back. The problem is not kindness itself. The problem is misplacing it. When a woman shares the depths of her goodness with those who do not cherish it, she risks becoming weary, bitter, and resentful. She begins to question whether kindness is even worth it, when in reality the issue was not her goodness, but how it was given. Even Jesus, the ultimate example of love, did not entrust himself to everyone. He healed many, taught multitudes, and showed compassion freely, but he did not open his heart to those who had no reverence for what he carried. He knew that some would twist his words, mock his goodness, and even betray him. A woman must learn from this example. She should love, but she should love wisely. She should give, but she should give with discernment. She should help others, but not at the cost of her own well-being. Goodness should not be loud. It does not need validation or applause. The most powerful acts of kindness are often the ones done in silence, without expectation of return. But that does not mean that goodness should be wasted on those who take it for granted. A woman must learn to recognize those who truly appreciate her heart and those who only seek to benefit from it. She must have the courage to walk away from situations that drain her and invest her goodness in places where it will bear fruit. A woman who understands the depth of her goodness walks in quiet strength. She does not let the world harden her heart, but she does not allow it to trample on her kindness either. She moves with wisdom, knowing when to extend her hand and when to pull back. She is generous but not foolish, compassionate but not blind. Her goodness is not a weakness. It is her power. And when she protects it, she ensures that it remains pure, strong, and untouchable by those who would seek to misuse it. There is a time to speak and a time to remain silent. A wise woman understands the difference. In a world where everyone is encouraged to share their thoughts, opinions, and emotions without restraint, the ability to hold one's tongue has become rare. But silence is not weakness, it is power. It is the ability to control the urge to react, to withhold words that may do more harm than good, and to allow wisdom to guide speech instead of emotion. A woman who knows when to stay silent possesses a strength that cannot be shaken. Silence protects. It protects dreams from those who would doubt them, emotions from those who would manipulate them, and dignity from those who would try to take it away. Many women have learned this lesson the hard way, trusting the wrong people with their secrets, speaking in anger and later regretting their words, or trying to defend themselves when silence would have been the greater response. Not everything needs to be explained. Not every accusation needs an answer. Not every battle needs to be fought with words. Sometimes silence speaks louder than anything that could be said. There is a story in the Bible where Jesus himself remained silent in the face of his accusers. He had every right to defend himself, to argue, to prove them wrong, but he chose silence. He knew that the truth did not need constant defense. He knew that speaking to those who had already made up their minds was pointless. A wise woman follows this example. She does not waste energy trying to prove herself to people who have already decided who she is. She does not get drawn into unnecessary arguments or feel the need to explain herself to those who will never understand. She knows that sometimes silence is the greatest answer. But silence is not just about holding back words. It is also about listening. A woman who speaks too much may miss what is being said around her. She may overlook wisdom, fail to hear warning signs, or ignore the still, small voice of God. But a woman who knows how to be silent, how to listen before she speaks, is a woman who walks in understanding. She is not quick to react, not easily offended, and not controlled by the emotions of the moment. She thinks before she speaks, and when she does speak, her words carry weight because they are chosen carefully. A woman who understands the wisdom of silence is a woman who cannot be easily manipulated. She does not reveal more than necessary, does not give her enemies ammunition, and does not let emotions dictate her speech. She carries herself with dignity, knowing that some things are better left unsaid. And in that silence, she holds a power that cannot be taken from her. A woman who understands what to guard and what to reveal walks with wisdom, dignity, and power. She is not cold or distant. She is discerning. She knows that not everyone deserves access to her dreams, her pain, her weaknesses, her kindness, or the depths of her thoughts. She does not waste words on those who will not understand, nor does she explain herself to those who have already judged her. Instead, she moves with quiet confidence, allowing her actions to speak louder than unnecessary explanations. In a world that pressures women to be completely open, to lay bare every aspect of their lives for others to see and judge, a wise woman chooses a different path. She understands that true strength is not in revealing everything, but in knowing what to conceal. She knows that mystery is not deception, it is wisdom. And in guarding what is sacred, she preserves her peace, protects her purpose, and honors the divine wisdom placed within her. So, to every woman listening, do not feel the need to justify, explain, or prove yourself to everyone. Walk in quiet strength. Hold your head high. Know what to share and what to keep hidden. And above all, trust that God sees all, knows all, and will honor the wisdom of a woman who chooses to walk in discernment. Let the world wonder, let them question. Let them be intrigued by the strength of a woman who knows that she is valuable enough to guard the treasures of her soul. And in doing so, she will not only protect herself, she will inspire others to walk in wisdom as well. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me today, because what I am about to say may change your life. It may save your future, your family, your dignity, and even your soul. We live in a time where foolishness is celebrated, where what is wrong is called right, and what is right is called outdated. But let me ask you, do you want to be wise or do you want to be foolish? My friends, throughout history, there have been two kinds of women: those who walk in wisdom and those who fall into foolishness. A wise woman is a blessing to her family, her community, and herself. But a foolish woman destroys everything she touches. And today, I want to give you 12 signs of a stupid woman. But why does this matter? Because foolishness carries consequences. A foolish woman destroys her own happiness. She loses the respect of others. She makes mistakes that leave scars. And worst of all, she walks a path that leads to regret. You need to hear this, and you need to hear it now, because if you recognize even one of these signs in yourself or someone you love, you must act before it's too late. Sign 1. A stupid woman rejects wisdom. The foolish woman ignores wise counsel. She doesn't listen to advice. She pushes away people who care about her. She refuses correction. And in doing so, she sets herself on the road to destruction. Sign 2. She talks more than she listens. A foolish woman is quick to speak, but slow to listen. She interrupts. She dominates conversations. She never stops to learn because she is too busy trying to prove she's right. Sign 3. She lives for gossip and drama. A foolish woman thrives on gossip. She spreads rumors. She enjoys seeing others fall. She stirs conflict. But what she doesn't realize is that her words are destroying her own reputation. Sign 4. She disrespects men in authority. She mocks her husband. She belittles men. She has no respect for leaders, parents, or mentors. But she doesn't understand that disrespect doesn't make her powerful, it makes her foolish. Sign 6, she seeks attention in all the wrong ways. A foolish woman craves attention through immodesty, manipulation, or rebellion. But true confidence doesn't come from being loud or reckless. It comes from wisdom and character. Sign 6, she spends recklessly. A foolish woman wastes money on things that don't matter. She puts herself and her family in financial ruin because of greed, impulsiveness, or pride. Sign 7, she refuses to take responsibility. When she makes mistakes, she blames others. She makes excuses. She never admits when she's wrong. But without accountability, there is no growth. Sign 8, she puts her feelings above truth. She follows her heart without question. But the Bible warns that the heart is deceitful. Feelings can mislead. Wisdom follows truth, not emotion. Sign 9, she surrounds herself with foolish people. A foolish woman loves bad company. She rejects wise friends and chooses people who encourage bad behavior. But show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Sign 10, she destroys her own home. A foolish woman tears down her marriage. She neglects her children. She creates conflict in her home. A wise woman, on the other hand, builds a legacy of love and strength. Sign 11. She has no fear of God. A foolish woman lives as if there is no accountability. She ignores God's wisdom. She makes decisions based only on the world's standards, and it leads to ruin. Ding. She ignores the warnings. Even when trouble comes, a foolish woman refuses to change. She ignores the signs.